Hello, good evening. Right, so this evening I wasn't actually going to go live today with mediumship. I had a very busy day, so I hadn't had much time to settle into meditation and what I normally do, prepare before I do a reading. But there's a very, spirits have got a different plan sometimes, and I've had a lady with me while I was doing the meditation and whatever, and she was really determined for me to come on to speak to you. So I'm going to try and connect with her a little bit more now, and it's for you. And if any of you know anybody know who I'm talking to, please comment below. Right, so I'll just wait a little while and see if anybody else comes on. Um, Hello, like I said anyway, I'm going to carry on. I can see that we haven't got many viewers, but it'll go, you can always watch this back on replay. I think it's meant for you, then you'll get it anyway. As I was saying, I've got a lady with me. She was very persistent, so I believe this show she would have been in live too. She's very persistent, and she's telling me that she played the violin, not just the violin, she played the piano, played a whole heap of different instruments, and she was a music teacher, and she also would have been a composer as well, in a band, a school orchestra or something. And she's telling me she wasn't very old when she passed. She's of Asian. She's, I think, she's saying I think she's from China. Very beautiful lady. Very petite. And long black hair. And very pretty. She tells me that she passed from in a road traffic accident. She was involved in a car crash, and she's saying it was instant that she passed. She didn't have no children. I believe she was married, but I don't think she'd been married for that long. She was a fiddler, so she would have fiddled with her rings and whatever. If you were having a conversation, she would have been, this is how she would have been. She would have been playing around with her things. She brings me to a ring finger because she wants to She wants me to mention her husband. Her husband was very, very important to her, and she loved him very, very much. I believe that they've been long-term friends before for many years, and then they grew together and married. I believe her family still live in China, because she showed me markets, so I think her parents would have worked in the market area in China. She moved to England. She's saying she moved to England because to further her music studies, and she went to university over here. She's telling me she got a sister called May as well. I don't know, she's got a sister. I don't know whether May is her name or her sister's name, but she's saying May, but not May in the sense of the month. It's M-A-I. She's telling me that her father would have been out on catching fishing, or light fishing, because she showed me a fishing boat and somebody fishing. I believe her students were very, very sad at her passing because she was very well liked. And I believe that a family arranged for her to be taken back home for her funeral. Because she's saying it was very traditional for her family, the way that her funeral went. I believe she could sing as well, very, very good, but something to do with the vocal cords or something here stopped her from singing. They were very weak or strained or something, because she's making me feel that they're painful. So I believe that singing she gave up. She would sing in moderation, but I believe she would have given that up. She's also saying that she was very into spiritualism herself. Her dad was very, he practiced, I can't think of what the word's called, Tai Chi and things like that. And she's saying that she had an interest in spirituality from a young age. She's also telling me that she's got a friend who's with her in spirit that she would have connected to when she got there, who would have passed when they were at a child age, a young age. And she's saying that she's connected back with them. She's saying about somebody, you know, who's here now on the airplane. I feel it's a husband that's been, she's saying taken for a ride, because she was always the one who always had her eyes wide open, and she knew she could spot a scam if there was one. And she's saying about her husband was very colourful, and he would accept everything because he's too nice, if that makes any sense. But she's saying that he's too nice, and she seems to think, she's saying that he's having a wall pulled over his eyes, and she wants him to know that. She's also, I believe her husband would still be in the UK, but he's planning to move back into China because his family's there, and I think he's feeling quite lonely. She's also saying that she wants me to send healing to her mother, because I feel that her mother's been not feeling well herself for a while, and she's suffering with her back because she's giving me the feeling that I want to be curved over and arched. I believe a lot of there's still a lot of questions on her passing, and who was to blame, who was at fault, and I think that's because she's making me feel that that there's so much going on, and I think her husband's feeling that way. He can't take much more. It's one thing, then another, and I know this feeling. She makes me have this feeling because it's the feeling I get with my granddaughter. So I know there's a lot of questions and unanswered questions, and I feel that she's saying, just, you know, let it be. But I mean, it's always going to be difficult to let things go when we've lost somebody that we love so much, and I feel that her husbands can't do that. Her family look at him for answers and he can't give them, and I think he's trying to juggle everything, work, study, and the family asking questions, and I think she's saying, you know, it's okay, just let it be. Things will work out for itself. Right, and she's giving me the number 8. Boy, I don't know. She's making me draw number 8 on my hand. So 8's important somewhere for somebody. I'm going to leave her love with you, and I hope this resonates to somebody out there. It will, I'm sure. And she just wants to come in to say, you know, it's okay to relax. It's okay not not to try and juggle everything all the time. And she wants her husband to know that she loves him, and things will turn out okay. It's just going to take time. And see if I've got anybody else with me now. Okay, so I got a man with me. Now, he's saying John. John, I don't know whether John's his name or John is somebody that he's connected to, but he's quite tall. How can I put it? He's quite bald here, if you don't mind me saying it this way. A little bit of hair at the sides here. He would have been a shirt and a V-neck jumper kind of man, and trousers. And he's coming in just say hello to somebody. He's telling me he would have been some kind of a caretaker, because he's showing me lots and lots of keys. He's got bunches of keys. So he would have either been John himself or connected to a John. He showed me opening lots of doors and shutters and whatever. And he would have been quite responsible. His job would have been quite responsible. Right, he's saying he was, thank you, he was quite well known for, although he was smartly dressed with a V-neck jumper shirt, he would have always been known for having a piece of his shirt out the back, and somebody would always, he's saying somebody that's connected, who's watching, would have pulled at his shirt like a joke, that the little tail that's hanging, he's saying. He's saying they always played me up. Every day they played me up. One of them played me up. So but he's laughing. He would have took it all in great fun. He thinks it's he thinks that it's he was really finding it funny that everybody would have took him, like would have played tricks on him, and it was a lot of fun for everyone to see, because his reaction, the way he would have reacted, would have been quite funny. He's also mentioning Malcolm. I've got to mention the name Malcolm, because that was another name that would have been quite important to him, Malcolm. And he refers to his wife as her indoors. That's how he's referring to, oh, her indoors. So he would have been married. I believe his wife, he passed before his wife did. I don't know if his wife has actually passed. He's not giving me that at the moment, but I feel his wife is maybe still alive. He's saying he had 2 sons and a daughter. Or it might be 2 sons and a daughter-in-law, but it was fast. So, I'm asking him how he passed it this time. It was something to do with his heart. He's saying to me, it took me out like a light really quickly. And he's saying, I didn't have no trouble with my ticket before, it just happened. So it wasn't an ongoing illness, it was something that come on suddenly. He's also showing me that he would have had asthma, because he's showing me now him pumping on that. So I think he would have suffered with his chest a little bit. So he's showing me an inhaler. He's also showing me a lot of grass, neatly cut grass in a square. So he's showing me that he was probably responsible for this as well, with the caretaking job that he was doing. And he's also bringing me attention that he was he's saying I was quite itchy. I think he had he's saying eczema. He's saying a skin complaint, but I think it was eczema. And he's saying it was all over my elbows, and this is why he liked to wear the long sleeve jumpers and shirts, because he was quite embarrassed of it. He was a pretty proud man. Although he liked to have a laugh and a joke, he was very proud, and he was, you know, his business was his business kind of thing. He's also telling me to mention Carol. He's saying mention Carol. And he did mention about a family that he was well connected to. I didn't catch what he said, it was so quick, but he's saying they're all up here, we've all met up, we're all together, and it would have been a family of brothers that when they were younger they would have all been together in a group, hanged out, and he's saying we're all back together, the lads are all back together. He's also saying that somebody here likes dominoes. He showed me dominoes. Right, it gives me number 10. Number 10 as that'll be either an anniversary, a birthday or something, maybe October, but it's 10. Excuse me. And when this man would have spoken and he was telling you something and he was really serious about what he was saying, he would have used his finger and he would have done all the expressions with his hands. He was very talked a lot with his hands. Like, he's showing me that he would have liked golf or interested in golf as well, because he just showed me a golf bag, a golf caddy, whatever they're called, and a golf cue. He's making me feel that I'm wacky. I don't think it would have been like professional or anything like that. It was just a hobby. And he's saying about the little cap he would have wore when he went to play golf, or his little cap, and it had a little bobble on the top. And he's saying that was my golf cap. He's quite proud of that cap. I believe that was passed to somebody. Because he's saying they got my golf cap, they've got my cap on. But he's laughing about it. Nothing. Right. He's off now. He doesn't say goodbye. He doesn't say his goodbye is cheerio. I believe that would have been something that he would have said. Cheerio. Not goodbye or see you later. It's cheerio. I think he just wanted to come through and say hi and let whoever he wants to see this see it. Right. I've got a male walking in there. He walks in, he's got a cane, a stick. It wouldn't been one of the metal kind of sticks, it would have been wooden, grey, with the umbrella handle. I said to him, who are you? He said, Lord Montgomery. Why? I haven't got a clue, but he's laughing. He isn't Lord Montgomery. Right, this man's a real joker. Everything I say to him is jokingly bad. Let me describe him to you a bit. Right, so he would have worn jeans, but he would have worn trousers as well. He didn't have a preference. He would have worn shirts, but they would have always been rolled up to here. Even if he had a jacket over the top, he still would have worn a shirt and his sleeves would have been rolled up. He's got a tattoo on his left arm, here, where I've got mine here. I can't see what the tattoo is, because it's really quite fainted, so it would have had it, it would have been several years ago he would have had it, because it's very faint. He wears, I can't think of what they're called. Are they tank tops? He would have wore one of them occasionally with the sleeveless jumpers. He would have worn one of them because he makes reference to that for some reason. I don't know why, but he makes reference. Whether he's having me on again, I don't know, but he's on about this tank top. I think he, excuse this, but I think somebody may have bought him one and he's laughing about it. He's saying about somebody would have celebrated something recently and it would have, they would have had a cake, but they would have had a picture of him on there. He's showing me pictures of him on the cake. He was very popular and very well liked. Lovely man, soft, kind, but get on the wrong side of him and you regret it. He's showing me back earlier days when he was younger. He would have had a motorbike. Not one of these ones that you get now. You go, what, 100 mile an hour. It would have been a thing that would have just gone from A to B. That he would have liked. He said he spent more time polishing it than he did riding it. That's what he's saying. He's telling me about a funny thing that happened. He was wearing he's got a jacket on with a zip that zipped up, and he's telling me that he zipped it up too quickly once and it pinched his skin and caught him. And he said, oh, he's saying, oh, it hurt like hell. And I wouldn't want else to tell you what else he's saying, but yeah, he's using a few words. He's saying as well that he used to have a bird that would be in the living room, and it would squawk that loud that he couldn't hear the TV. And he said, and he's saying he didn't just cover him over at the night time. He'd go over and put something over him on the daytime, and he's laughing about that. He said he's laughing. He's saying about the cage opening and the bird flying and nearly got out the door. Something, or out the window, because he's laughing about that. He's saying, wish he'd gone. He's saying as well about old Brillo pads. Well, I don't know, but he's saying, get a Brillo pad on it. So I believe that someone's struggling to clean something, and he's saying, get a Brillo pad on it. He said, because he showed me that they're using a brush to clean the saucepan or something, and he's saying, no, that ain't the way, use a Brillo pad, just bring it straight up, that's what he's saying. He's also showing me a t-shirt. He's saying about somebody had a t-shirt, made a game with his face or something on, because he's saying all over the place, my face everywhere. I'm like a celebrity, and he's laughing about that. He's making reference to that. This man as well is saying that I need to make reference to the fact that he would have loved, always had a handkerchief in his pocket. He liked to have a handkerchief. He always had a handkerchief, and somebody would have bought him handkerchiefs at Christmas, and he's saying to mention that too. He's saying posh ones. That's what he's saying. But they were posh ones. He's saying his mum died when he was quite young, and he said that he's back with his mum now, and they've been able to connect together, and he's been able to catch up with his mum. He never quite got over losing his mum so young. He said his dad tried his best and really tried hard to bring him up, but he missed his mum. He's telling me that an auntie would have been like a mum to him, and he's met up with her too because she's passed over. He said he's seen somebody really upset lately, crying a lot and asking him to help. He said that you've been to his resting place and you've been asking him to help you, and he's tried to show you so many ways and signs that he's there for you. He's saying something about a feather. You would have seen that he placed for you. And he's saying about music, a song that will make you think of him has come. He's made play, so you know that he's there with you. He would. Right. I'm going to say how he says it. He says, life's too short. Bloody get on with it. You're not getting anywhere sitting crying. You need to pull your socks up and just get on with it. It'll work itself out. That's what he's saying. It'll work itself out. There's nothing you're going to do to change how things turn out. He's telling me to say the trouble is with you, you're too caring. You give so much out, but nothing ever comes back. And he wants you to. He doesn't want you to change because he wants you to take some time for yourself, because I believe that you're not taking any time for yourself. You're not relaxing. You're not, having 5 minutes, always something. The phone's always ringing, and you're not getting no time for yourself. And he's saying, turn your phone off, get in the bath or wherever it is, and just chill out, have some time for yourself. There's no harm in caring for yourself, because that can happen so much easy. We forget about ourselves. We just, snowed under with everybody else's problems, and we forget about ourselves. And how can we be any help for anybody if we're not, we're not in a good place ourselves? So you need to be in a good place. I feel that this person's not in a good place right now and needs some kind of healing, because he's saying he wants me to send healing to you and tell you that, you need to take some time out for yourself. He's worried over you. No, he's singing to me. Well, I won't say singing, he's humming to me. You are my sunshine. So it would be somebody who's heard that or played that or sung that or something to do with you are my sunshine. He was there. He's saying that he heard and he could hear you. And he's saying you're mine too. And I love a cup, well I did, I used to love a cup of tea and biscuit, but I don't know so much. But he's not saying that, he's saying he loved a cup of coffee and a biscuit, dunked it in the coffee. I don't drink coffee myself, so I find that repulsive, but he's saying, oh, you should have tried it, you can't knock it till you tried it. So, yeah, he would have been a big coffee drinker. And he's telling me to stop kicking the cooker, the oven cooker. He's saying he's saying somebody's got something wrong with the cooker, the oven or something, and they're kicking. Yeah, and he's saying just get a new one. It's buggered. That's what he's saying. It's buggered. Well, I'm going to leave this love with you as well. I hope this relates to somebody. I hope somebody connects. And if you do, please comment below. There's a lady here now who's I'd say about which build, and she's saying she's looking for Arthur. Arthur. That's what she's saying. I'm looking for Arthur. Now, this lady she would have worn an apron, but she's calling it a pinny. Literally all the time. She would have had this apron on because this lady was always in the kitchen making something, making one thing or another. And she showed me a rolling pin, so I know she would have been really good at making cakes and bread, she's saying, and bread. Now Arthur would have been her brother or her son. I haven't quite worked that one out yet, but she was looking for him, so right now. So he would have been her son. And he would have been a little bit of a tearaway, is what she's telling me. And he'd always out and about and she's looking for him all the time. So it's Arthur that she's looking for, and somebody who knows him, and she wants me to mention that. Okay, so she's telling me that he was always truanting from school. She'd send him to school and he'd truant. She'd think he was at school and he wasn't at school, he was everywhere else. Right, so she showed me that he would go on his bike to school and he'd be off everywhere else but school. And then when school was finished, or supposedly finished, he wouldn't come back and she'd be walking around looking for him in a pinhead. He would have had a younger brother too, and a younger brother. There would have been quite a bit of a gap. Not like, I'd say probably about 5 years. Because she would have left, she would have told him to stay in front of the TV and while she goes out and looks for him. Because she told me, oh, he was a right handful. But oh my gosh, she loves this Arthur so much. You can see it beaming off her. She's saying about as well about his scuff shoes. She'd buy him a pair of shoes and he'd scuff them in a day, and she's saying about that. She's making reference to that, saying about his shoes were always scuffed. And she's also making reference to that she'd hang her clean washing out on the line, white sheets all clean or hanging on the line, and they would play in the back garden with big long sticks and be running in and out of the washing, and she'd have to bring it all back in and re-wash it because it'd be filthy. This lady would have always had rollers in her hair as well. She would have always kept them in. It's only on special occasions that she'd take them out, and then that would be very, very few and far between. She didn't really go out much. Her husband was a drinker. She makes reference about that, and he would be in the pub most of the time, and she'd stay at home and care for the boys and cook. This is like quite old because she's showing me that they would have used the back gate and it was cobbled streets. And she's showing me walking up the street, and right on the corner of her street, which wasn't far away, there'd be a corner shop, and they'd have lots of things outside, like brooms and everything, and all hardware stuff. And she showed me that because that was a shop that, like a local shop to where she lived. She's saying that they had a parlour room. So she's making me see that there's a living room that would have been kept for just for good, for best, for visitors, no hardly touch, and then they would just use the back living room. Like she's telling me, she's saying about Sarah O'Mill, is it Sarah O'Mill? So I think that's where it would have been, somewhere there. I've never been there. I know it was Sarah O'Mill, but And she's telling me about there would have been an armchair in the living room that would have been for Dad only. None of the children would have sat on it, neither would have she. And he would have come in, got his newspaper, started reading the newspaper and been asleep. Then he would have woke up and maybe eaten a little something and then gone back to the pub. He wasn't a very big eater, he was a very small man, and she always worried about that he didn't eat too much. She's saying he would drink himself to an early grave. This is what she's making reference to. She's telling me that you could have gone in her house at any time, and the kettle would have always been on. She was always making cups, like having a cup of tea. She was quite a big tea drinker. The kettle was always on, and she showed me a big silver kettle on the gas. Right, so I think this lady would be connected to somebody, and she would be their grandmother. She's telling me about there was the church hall. There would be something on once. They'd have an event on something once a month maybe or something, and it could be bingo or all time dancing or something like that, and she would go there. But she's telling me about her husband who sustained an injury during the war, and it made him not be able to work. So he hadn't worked, and he created quite a depression with him. So he spent a lot of time in the pub drinking. His injury would have been to do with his foot. So if there's somebody out there whose granddad would have been in the war and he had an injury that created something to do with his foot, this would probably be for you. Right, the reason that she's coming through as well is because she's saying about somebody's got something wrong with their foot, having problems with it when they're walking. So, and she's telling me that they need to go and have it sorted, but we're not doctors on here, and I don't, I don't really know anything to medical, can only give you what she's telling me. I'm going to leave her love with you, and I hope this evening, if any of this resonates with any of you, I hope that you comment underneath. To the people who aren't making those comments as well, you know, you haven't got to watch. So, you know, you can 0121. And for the other people who've joined me tonight and been supporting me, thank you so much. Keep doing that, please, and spread the word. I have got a link on the page asking you to join another group. Please do so, because Facebook are limiting how many people I can add now, and I've got a whole heap of people waiting and I can't actually add them. So if one of your friends are waiting to join, please give them my apologies. I'm sorry, I cannot do nothing about it, but eventually we will be moving over to the group. So please join that Spirit Network, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. God is good, and love and light to all of you. Good night.